Ever wonder why some people, men or women, can walk away from a situation not with rage, not with drama, but with this calm, unshakable energy, and somehow they become even more magnetic after that? My friends, welcome to the quiet force that Stoicism awakens inside you. This is not about playing games. This is not about ego. This is about mastering the one thing the world keeps trying to control: your peace. You see, folks, in a world that tells you to speak louder, to react faster, to always do something, the true power lies in doing nothing intentionally. Not because you don't care, but because you care about your dignity more than attention. And let me tell you something hard and real. People will often only begin to value your presence when they feel the weight of your absence. Not because you tried to make them feel it, but because your calm retreat left a silence that screamed louder than your words ever could. There's a reason why silence, when used with purpose, is one of the most commanding forces on earth. Think of a still mountain. It says nothing, yet it makes you feel everything. That's the energy of someone who walks away with composure. It doesn't make you weak, it makes you unforgettable. People remember the one who didn't chase, who didn't beg, who didn't try to explain themselves endlessly. They remember the one who nodded, smiled calmly, and disappeared with grace. That kind of energy, it haunts in the most beautiful way. Let me break one of the biggest lies you've been told, that the louder you scream, the more you're heard. No, my friend. The truth, stillness stirs the soul. When you step back without chaos, you leave behind a trail of mystery, strength, and control. And that trail, that's what pulls hearts back to you, not because you demanded it, but because you detached from the need for it. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. In simpler words, don't meet chaos with chaos. Meet it with poise, meet it with silence, meet it with a smile that says, "I know who I am, and I don't need this to prove it." Let me give you a metaphor. Imagine fire. It burns wild, hot, emotional. And now imagine water, calm, deep, controlled. Which one do you want to be when things get heated? Because fire may scare, but water shapes the earth. Water survives the ages. This calmness, this stillness, isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's what turns ordinary people into legends in the minds of others. When you stop explaining, when you stop chasing, you stop bleeding energy. And guess what? They feel that shift. Suddenly, your absence becomes a mirror, and people don't like mirrors, they show the truth. Your stillness forces them to see themselves without your presence to distract them. So to anyone out there doubting their worth, to those who feel the pull to react, to shout, to prove themselves, breathe. You don't need to fight for what is meant for you. You don't need to explain your value to those who are blind to it. Just step back, calmly, quietly, powerfully. Because true confidence doesn't chase, it simply chooses. It chooses peace, it chooses silence, it chooses self-respect over attention, and in that choice, something magical happens. So now, take a moment, breathe in, let it settle, because what you just heard, it's not just information, it's a reminder, a call back to your core. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people who can walk through fire without flinching, who can be calm when others are crumbling, who can speak without words. That's not just confidence, that's power in its rawest, most untouchable form. Now don't just let these words pass through your ears. Engage, anchor it into your life, into your spirit. Speak it out loud and etch it in the comments so it becomes part of you, not just something you heard and forgot. This is your declaration, your quiet rebellion against chaos. Calm is my power. Say it, my friend. Whisper it if you have to. Shout it if it shakes your soul. And then go type it down below. Not for me, for you. Put it out into the world like a promise, because the minute you write it, you claim it. Let the algorithm see it. Let the world see it. But most importantly, let you see it. Calm is my power. Now go, type it, feel it, own it, and if your heart is even slightly stirred by these words, smash that like button, subscribe. Share this message with someone who's been reacting when they should be rising. Someone who forgot how powerful their silence can be. Stay close. We've only just scratched the surface. Number 1. The paradox of detachment. Let's talk about something that might feel completely backwards at first, something that might go against every instinct you've been taught in love, conflict, or connection. When someone you care about begins to pull away or show distance, your gut screams at you, do something, fix it, say something, chase them. But what if I told you that doing nothing intentionally can change everything? You see, folks, there's a paradox here, and it's not just poetic, it's powerful. When you step back, calmly, silently, without a trace of bitterness, you're not creating distance, you're creating space. And in that space, something begins to unfold that chasing could never achieve. Reflection. Real, raw reflection. Not just for them, but for you too. Most people don't expect peace when they expect a reaction. They expect noise, tears, arguments, proof that they still matter. But when you don't give that to them, not out of coldness, but out of inner control, it disrupts the pattern. It breaks the loop of dependency and emotional chaos that so many relationships unconsciously fall into. It's like standing at the edge of a cliff and dropping a stone. You expect a splash, but there's no sound, only silence. That silence, that's where the mind starts to echo. That's where realizations are born. And in that echo, the absence becomes louder than any word you could have spoken. Questions will arise in their heart. Did they really let go? Are they really done? How can someone walk away so calm, so complete? And that's when they begin to turn inward. That's when they finally stop looking at your actions and start examining their own emotions. You've shifted the focus from your pursuit to their reflection. And let's be honest, this isn't easy. You might feel like your silence is weakness, that stepping back is surrender. But let me say this plainly, it takes more strength to stay still than it does to chase. Anyone can scream when they feel hurt, but only a few can walk away with grace and leave behind peace instead of pain. Think of it like this. A lighthouse doesn't chase ships. It stands tall, it shines quietly, and still, ships find their way back to it through the storm. Be that lighthouse, be that unmoved presence in a sea full of noise. And if you've ever doubted whether this calm detachment really holds power, remember this: what is rare becomes valuable. In a world full of people reacting out of fear, the one who acts out of principle shines differently. That's what Stoicism teaches us. That's what life proves again and again. The person who controls themselves doesn't lose. They lead. So here's what I want you to say out loud right now. Not just say it, believe it. Then go write it in the comments. Let the world know where you stand. My silence speaks strength. Write it down below. Claim it. Let it settle in your soul. And if this message hit you deeper than just words, if it reminded you of who you really are beneath all the noise, like this video, subscribe, and share this with someone who's still chasing storms when they could be becoming the calm after it. Stay with me, my friend. We're only beginning to unlock what real strength feels like. Number 2, the silence that speaks. Silence. The world thinks it's empty, passive, maybe even weak. But my friends, silence, when used with intention, is one of the most powerful forces you'll ever possess. It doesn't beg to be heard. It doesn't try to prove a point. And yet, it leaves a mark deeper than any spoken word. You don't have to raise your voice to make your presence known. Sometimes your absence will echo louder than your presence ever did. When someone steps back, not in anger, not as a weapon, but with calm finality, they leave behind more than just space. They leave behind a shift, a quiet rupture in the rhythm of someone else's world. And that shift? It creates a vacuum. A vacuum where all the noise, all the distractions, all the surface-level distractions are suddenly gone. And what's left is reflection. They start to feel the change, not always in loud ways. Sometimes it's subtle. The way the room doesn't feel the same, the way laughter sounds different, the way the silence between texts starts to stretch longer and longer until it becomes impossible to ignore. And in that quiet, a different kind of voice begins to speak, the voice of realization. They're really not here anymore. Was their silence their answer? Why do I feel the weight of their absence more than I ever felt the comfort of their presence? This isn't manipulation. This isn't mind games. This is emotional gravity. It's what happens when someone who brought steadiness and peace is no longer accessible. You can't replace that kind of energy easily. And when it's gone, it leaves more than a gap. It leaves a mirror. A mirror that shows what was taken for granted, what was misunderstood, what was unappreciated. You don't need to defend your worth with long speeches or desperate gestures. You don't need to chase after being heard. Sometimes the loudest "I'm done" comes in the form of complete stillness. And that stillness, that's where the truth gets loud. Let me tell you something real. People remember energy more than words. They forget what you said, but they'll never forget how it felt to be around you. So when you walk away peacefully, that memory becomes a haunting presence in their silence. Your energy lingers. Your calm confidence lingers. It becomes a message that doesn't fade. It intensifies. And here's what most people never realize until it's too late. Arguing makes you forgettable. Silence makes you unforgettable because everyone knows how to fight, but very few know how to walk away with their head held high, with no resentment, no hatred, just clarity. And clarity is magnetic. So don't fall into the trap of proving your worth to someone who can't see it yet. Don't waste your strength trying to explain the value of your presence. Let the silence explain it for you. Let your absence write the final paragraph. Because when you master the art of stepping back without spite, you don't lose anything. You gain everything: your dignity, your peace, and, ironically, their attention, often when it no longer matters. Right now, I want you to stop scrolling and make this moment count. Breathe deep. Let this message sink in. And then declare it with me, not just in thought, but in action. Say it out loud, then write it in the comments below like a promise to yourself. My silence speaks volumes. Type it, mean it, become it. And if this message opened your eyes even a little, hit that like button, subscribe, share this with someone who needs to hear it before they speak too soon. Stay with me. We're only scratching the surface of what true inner strength really looks like. Number 3. The Stoic silent energy. There's a certain energy that can't be faked, it can't be borrowed, it can't be mimicked, and it sure as hell can't be forced. It's the energy of someone who knows exactly who they are. No noise, no performance, no need to shout it out loud. Just a quiet, grounded presence that fills a room, not by demanding attention, but by owning the space without needing to be noticed. This is the energy of a Stoic soul. And it is rare. You see, folks, a truly grounded person doesn't walk away to punish, manipulate, or create drama. That's what the world expects. That's the immature reaction. But the Stoic, they step away for one reason only: to protect their peace. And that kind of departure doesn't shake them, it anchors them. It's not about power plays, it's not about making the other person miss them. It's about honoring their inner boundaries. They don't throw tantrums. They don't plead for understanding. They simply choose peace over performance. They walk away from disrespect, from noise, from anything that disturbs their emotional equilibrium, not out of weakness, but from the strength of deep self-respect. And that's where the paradox shows up again, because the very moment you stop trying to prove your worth, that's the moment the world starts to feel it. Let me share something with you. I once knew someone, a man who didn't just talk about principles, he lived them. When a relationship began to chip away at his peace, he didn't lash out. He didn't defend himself. He didn't try to win the argument or convince anyone to understand his side. He just left, not in bitterness, not in silence laced with resentment. He left with a calm that was almost unnerving. And in that still departure, he communicated everything that needed to be said. That silence, that absence, it echoed. It made those who once overlooked him see him more clearly than ever before. Not because he played some clever psychological game, but because he knew his worth wasn't up for discussion. And that's what so many people don't understand. True confidence isn't loud. It doesn't boast. It doesn't beg. It simply is, like a mountain, like the tide. It doesn't explain itself. It just moves with purpose. And in a world full of noise and neediness, that kind of centered energy stands out like fire in the dark. People are drawn to it. They feel it. They might not understand it at first, but they can't ignore it. It pulls them in, not through desperation, but through presence. A presence that says, I don't need you to see me for me to exist fully. And that's where real magnetism lives. Not in chasing love, but in living with such complete integrity that love either aligns with you or fades away peacefully without disturbing your inner world. A person like that doesn't retreat in defeat. They don't flinch. They don't chase chaos. They choose stillness, and in doing so, they invite reflection. They spark curiosity. And more often than not, they leave behind a silence that changes hearts. So if you're watching this and you've ever felt the urge to yell just to be seen or begged just to be loved, I want you to pause, breathe, and remember who the hell you are. You don't have to prove your value to anyone who can't already feel it. Say it with me right now and type it in the comments as a promise to yourself and a message to the world. I protect my peace. Write it. Own it. Live it. Number 4. What happens in their heart? Something powerful happens in the heart when someone walks away, not with anger, not with cruelty, but with calm and silent conviction. It leaves behind a stillness, and that stillness speaks. It whispers to the imagination. It triggers questions that come not from logic, but from somewhere deeper, questions that won't stop spinning in the mind. Where are they now? Do they even think about me anymore? How are they so composed, so unaffected? Was it really that easy for them to let go? These aren't just casual thoughts, they're haunting echoes that follow someone through the quiet moments of their day and settle deep into the silence of their night. And in those moments, the mind begins to wander, searching for answers in places where none are given. That's when curiosity, little by little, starts turning into something more powerful: longing. Because, my friends, human nature hates emptiness. We don't like gaps. We fill them with meaning, with emotion, with stories, whether they're true or not. And so, the silence left behind by someone who walked away gracefully becomes the backdrop to an entirely new narrative, one written in memory and imagination. She starts to remember not just what was said, but what was felt, not just the conversations, but the energy, the presence, the unspoken stability. She replays the way they sat in silence without discomfort, the way his calmness never felt like distance, but like depth. She remembers the way he didn't need to fix her pain. He just held space for it. How he didn't try to impress with words, because his presence alone already spoke volumes. While others talked endlessly about who they were, he simply was. That's when realization begins to sink in, not all at once, but piece by piece. The kind of connection she had with him wasn't built on noise or attention. It was built on substance, on presence, on something that doesn't come around often. And now that it's gone, its absence feels louder than its presence ever did. Ironically, the more he retreats into silence, the more she feels him. The quieter he becomes, the louder her heart begins to speak. Not out of regret or guilt, but from the recognition that something real was lost. Something rare. And that kind of ache is not one you can simply shake off. But here's the wisdom in all of this, and I need you to really hear this. He didn't leave to cause pain. He didn't go quiet to spark longing. He stepped back because his peace was worth protecting, because his self-respect was never up for negotiation. And that silent strength, that peaceful certainty, that's what draws hearts back, not by force, but by reflection. This is the power of true inner calm. When you stop chasing and start standing still, the world around you shifts, because people feel the difference between someone who needs them and someone who chooses themselves. Let others run in circles. You stand in stillness. Let others try to fill voids with noise. You fill your life with meaning. As the Stoics would say, let go of attachment. What is meant for you will find you, not through desperation, but through clarity and alignment. Right now, I want you to pause, feel this moment, not with your mind, but with your soul. If this message touched something deep inside you, if it reminded you of your value and the power of peaceful detachment, then speak it into existence. Say it with me and type it in the comments like it's your truth from now on. I choose peace over pursuit. Write it below. Let it be your reminder. Let it be your anchor. Number 5. Detachment is power. Detachment. The word alone sounds cold to some, almost like you're shutting off your emotions or abandoning everything you've ever cared about. But hear me clearly, my friends. Detachment is not the absence of love. It is the presence of strength. Real, unshakable, grounded strength. The kind that doesn't need noise. The kind that doesn't need approval. The kind that stands tall in silence and says, I know who I am, even if you don't. Detachment isn't about giving up. It's about growing up. It's the decision to stop gripping so tightly to what hurts, to what disrespects, to what drains you. It's choosing peace over panic, dignity over desperation. And let's be real, that choice, that's not easy. When your heart is involved, when the emotions pull, detachment feels like swimming upstream. Your mind says, let go, but your heart says, hold on. Yet that's exactly why it's so powerful, because it requires discipline in the face of desire. People might wonder, if I let go, won't I lose them forever? Maybe, or maybe you'll find yourself, and in doing so, attract something far deeper, far healthier, far more aligned. You see, a Stoic doesn't walk away to punish. He walks away to protect something sacred, his inner equilibrium. He understands something most people don't, that you can deeply love someone and still refuse to lose yourself for them. That real love doesn't mean attachment, it means freedom. And when you stop grasping, when you stop begging for scraps of attention, you begin to glow differently. You begin to carry a weightless kind of power. Let me give you a metaphor. Picture a tree in a storm. The wind howls, the branches bend, but the roots stay planted. That's detachment. It doesn't mean you don't feel the wind, it means you don't break from it. You don't uproot yourself, trying to chase someone else's approval. You don't crumble just because someone walked away. You remain because you were whole before they arrived, and you'll be whole when they're gone. That's why detachment is the rarest form of strength. Not many can do it, not many will do it, but those who do, they're unforgettable. Women, and people in general, are drawn to the energy of someone who doesn't need them to be complete, who doesn't beg to be seen. Why? Because that energy is scarce, it's real, it's magnetic. In a world full of people chasing love like it's oxygen, the one who breathes freely without it becomes the most attractive presence in the room. And that attraction isn't built on manipulation or games. It's built on stability. It's built on purpose. A Stoic doesn't chase validation. He doesn't need someone to confirm his value, his joy, his calm, his strength. They're not dependent on who stays or who goes. As Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. The fewer things you require from others to feel whole, the freer you become. And let me say this for the people in the back. Detachment is not coldness, it's clarity. It's the ability to love fully, but not cling, to give deeply, but not lose yourself. To walk away, not because you stopped caring, but because you started caring about you. There's a profound peace that comes when you finally stop trying to convince anyone of your worth. You stop pleading, you stop performing, you simply exist, firm in your truth, whole in your spirit, and open only to what aligns with your highest self. If they see it, beautiful. If they don't, keep walking. Not every soul is ready for peace. Not every heart recognizes calmness as strength. And here's where so many fall apart. They confuse detachment with indifference. But let me tell you, indifference says, I don't care about you. Detachment says, I care deeply, but I will not abandon myself to hold on to you. There's a huge difference. And once you understand that, you become untouchable. You don't have to slam doors. You don't have to announce your worth. You don't have to fight to be chosen. You just step back, quietly, calmly, powerfully, and the ones who were meant to be in your life will feel that shift, not as abandonment, but as revelation. That's what most people never learn. They think power lies in control, in persuasion, in performance, but true power lies in presence, in the ability to walk away when peace costs too much, in the courage to let go when love no longer serves your growth, in the stillness to say, if it's meant for me, it'll stay. If not, I'll still be okay. Because at the end of the day, your self-worth isn't a debate. It's not a prize someone else gets to give you. It's the ground beneath your feet. And when you know that, truly know it, you stop trying to be chosen and start living like you've already chosen yourself. So if you're sitting there questioning whether you should let go, whether walking away makes you weak, I'll tell you this. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is the quietest one. No explanation, no grand exit. Just a calm decision that your peace is no longer up for compromise. Say it with me now and write it down in the comments so it becomes more than just words. Let it be your standard from this moment on. I choose peace over people. Type it below. Speak it with your chest, not out of bitterness, but out of clarity, out of growth, out of the fire you've already survived. And if this message struck something deep inside of you, if you felt seen, understood, awakened, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who's ready to stop chasing and start standing. Stay with me. The world's going to try and pull you in 1,000 directions, but we stay rooted. We rise in stillness, and we never, ever forget our worth. Number 7. Not everyone deserves your energy. Let me tell you something that'll sting a little, but it needs to be said. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not everyone deserves your love, your patience, your words, or even your presence. Harsh? Maybe. True? Absolutely. And if no one else has told you this lately, let me be the one. You are allowed to stop pouring yourself into people who keep leaving you empty. Your energy is currency, your time is sacred, your attention is power, and in a world that constantly asks you to prove your worth, to explain your feelings, to fight for validation, you have every right to say, no more. The Stoics didn't waste their emotions on what they couldn't control, and you shouldn't either. Don't trade your peace to prove your point. Let that line sink in, because every time you argue with someone who refuses to understand you, every time you chase someone who treats you like an option, every time you lower your standards to keep the peace, you're actually destroying it. Your real peace, the kind that lives inside your soul. There's this lie the world has fed you, that love means enduring everything, that loyalty means tolerating disrespect, that strength means staying even when it hurts. But here's the truth, and I want you to feel it in your bones. Love without boundaries isn't love. It's self-abandonment. Choosing to walk away isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's recognizing that you cannot carry someone who refuses to walk, cannot pour into someone who only knows how to take, and cannot keep burning yourself out, trying to light up someone else's darkness. You were not born to be someone's emotional landfill. You are not here to absorb everyone else's chaos while neglecting your own healing. There is nothing noble about staying in places where your soul is constantly suffocating. And I get it. You want to be kind. You want to be patient. You want to give people chances. That's beautiful. That's strong. But even strength has a limit, and wisdom knows when to stop. Ask yourself right now, how many times have I fought to be understood by someone who wasn't even listening? How many times have I apologized for having standards? How many times have I betrayed my own peace just to keep someone else comfortable? That's not love. That's emotional bankruptcy. There's a story in your silence, a boundary in your absence, a message in your refusal to engage with what drains you. And when you learn to protect your energy the same way you protect your money, your health, your home, everything in your life begins to shift. Because what you allow is what will continue, and what you tolerate becomes your pattern. So let me say this as clearly as I can. You are not obligated to stay where you are not valued. You are not unkind for choosing peace. You are not broken for wanting something deeper, quieter, more respectful. This isn't about being hard or cold. This is about being real. Stoicism teaches us not to be heartless, but to lead with reason over reaction, to choose control over chaos. That means understanding your limits, and more importantly, enforcing them. You don't need to announce your boundaries with anger. You don't need to scream. Your silence will speak for you. Your absence will communicate more than any long message ever could. There's a metaphor I love. Imagine you're a cup of water. Every time you give your energy to someone who doesn't give back, the water drains. One person takes a sip, another spills it, another knocks it over completely. And if you keep giving without checking who's drinking, you'll run dry. You'll burn out. You'll become a shell of who you were, wondering why you feel so empty. You don't owe anyone unlimited access to your heart, especially not those who handle it carelessly. You have the right to be discerning. You have the right to say no. You have the right to leave when your soul is no longer safe in someone's presence. And here's the real twist. When you finally begin to honor your own energy, the people who belong in your life won't be pushed away by your boundaries. They'll be drawn to them. They'll respect them, because the right people don't punish you for having limits. They appreciate you more because of them. A Stoic doesn't walk away to prove a point. A Stoic walks away because they've already made peace with the outcome. They've already weighed the cost of staying and chosen to protect their core. Not out of ego, but out of alignment. So if you're standing at a crossroads, unsure whether to hold on or let go, here's your answer. If it's draining your peace, it's not worth your energy. Period. It doesn't matter how much history you have, how much you hoped it would change, or how deeply you care. If you have to lose yourself to keep someone else, you've already lost too much. Now take a deep breath and say this with me, not just with your mouth, but from the deepest place inside you. Let it ring in your mind and echo in your choices moving forward. And once you've said it, write it in the comments below as your personal standard from this moment on. My energy is sacred. Type it, own it, live it. Number 8. Your silence is the closure. There comes a point in life where the most powerful thing you can do is say absolutely nothing. Not because you're weak, not because you're scared, but because you've said enough, you've given enough, you've explained, defended, tried to be understood, and now you're done. The quieter you become, the more you can hear. Ram Dass wasn't just talking about external noise. He was talking about the noise inside you, the need to be validated, to be liked, to be seen. The quieter you become, the more you hear your own truth. Let them wonder. Let them sit in the space where your presence used to be. Let them feel the energy that once showed up consistently, kindly, loyally. Let them try to trace your silence back to something they can label, but find nothing but a reflection of their own behavior. That's the beauty of calm detachment. You don't need revenge. You don't need drama. Your absence becomes the mirror they can't avoid. You see, we've been raised in a world that teaches us to explain ourselves endlessly, to justify why we leave, to give closure even when we're the ones who were broken. But Stoicism teaches something very different. It teaches us that stillness is the highest form of clarity. When your soul is at peace, you don't need to make noise. You simply walk, you step back, you disappear, and in that silence, your truth is louder than 1,000 conversations. People may ask, but won't they misunderstand me? Yes, maybe they will, but that's not your responsibility anymore. You do not owe explanations to people who were committed to misunderstanding you. You do not need to unpack your soul for someone who refused to hold it with care. When someone can't value your words, you stop giving them. When someone trivializes your presence, you gift them your absence. Let them wonder. Let them sit in silence and feel the shift. Let them replay the last conversation, the last glance, the last time they brushed off your presence like it was replaceable. Let the silence stretch long enough that it forces introspection. Because here's the truth most people don't want to face. What they couldn't hear in your words, they will feel in your absence. And make no mistake, mystery is magnetic. The world is drawn to those who are rooted in self-knowing. When you carry yourself with calm conviction, when you don't argue, don't beg, don't explain, you become a riddle they want to solve, a calm presence they want to understand. And the more you resist the urge to speak, the more curious they become. But here's the key. You're not doing it to provoke curiosity. You're not doing it to be chased or admired. You're doing it because peace became more valuable than being understood. You're doing it because your energy is no longer available to those who didn't value it when it was overflowing. Let them wonder. Let them miss the version of you that was soft, generous, open. Let them realize what it felt like to be genuinely seen, to be heard without judgment. Let them compare that to the noise they now sit in, and let them discover the difference on their own. That's how people grow, not through lectures, through absence. And yes, it takes strength, real strength. Because silence isn't easy. The ego wants to speak, the heart wants to cry out, but the soul, oh, the soul wants peace. The soul is wise enough to know that not every door is meant to stay open. That sometimes your growth requires a quiet exit and no looking back. There's a line I often come back to. You don't always get closure from others. Sometimes your silence is the closure. Read that again. You are allowed to walk away without making a speech. You are allowed to stop responding. You are allowed to be done, not with anger, but with acceptance, because nothing speaks louder than a soul that refuses to be disturbed. And here's the part people never expect. Your silence teaches more than your words ever could. It teaches that you had boundaries, that you respected yourself, that you didn't stay in spaces where love was conditional and your peace was collateral damage. Let them wonder. Let them wonder if you miss them. Let them wonder if you're happier now. Let them wonder if they pushed you too far. The truth is, you've simply returned to yourself, to your balance, to your calm, to your clarity. You've remembered that being understood is nice, but being at peace, that's non-negotiable. Stoicism teaches us to let go of what we can't control, and that includes how others perceive us. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. You simply live it. And the ones who were meant to see it, they will. And the ones who don't. Let them keep wondering. Because the ones who truly love you don't need to be convinced. They feel your energy in your silence. They recognize the value of what you offered, and they come back, not out of guilt, but out of understanding. And if they don't, so be it. You didn't walk away to be chased. You walked away to breathe again. So here's what I want you to do right now. Sit still. Let your heart slow down. Let that urge to say something dissolve, and instead, own your silence. Let it be the sanctuary where your healing begins, where your power is reborn, where your energy is reclaimed. Now say this out loud and write it in the comments below like a vow to your future self. My silence is my power. Type it, feel it, live it. To wrap this up, let me leave you with this. Silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Detachment isn't cold, it's clarity. When you walk away calmly, you speak volumes without saying a word. Let them wonder, let them reflect, and most importantly, let yourself heal. If this message spoke to your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to remember their power. Drop a comment below with your favorite affirmation from today, and stay tuned. We're just getting started. This journey to unshakable peace is yours. Own it. Live it.